What's going on, everyone? It's TV, and it's been a moment since I've done a Please Buy Me video for numerous reasons. I think many of you know why. I was never a fan of this infinite card thing. In fact, I never made a single infinite card. A lot of people would come over to me and say, DV, please make an infinite card and sell it to me for 100 Robux. And I pretty much said no. And I'm going to talk about the reasons for this and why I never made one. Also, I want to talk about today what's going on with the game because they just removed infinite cards. Believe it or not, they didn't like it either after it kind of happened. It all went down, dude. So yeah, they're working on reversing this whole infinite card thing. Honestly, this game could be really, really good, but it isn't yet, in my opinion. It used to be really good. It's not good anymore, man. I'm sorry. I can't play it still. I can't play it still. I'll explain why. But before I begin, please do me a solid. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also, tomorrow I'm going to be posting, hopefully, another Slap Battles video. They should be coming out with like a new badge glove. I'm also going to be working on another Bed Wars video and another Eternal Heroes video. Those are kind of my 3 games right now that I'm cycling and on a regular update basis. Plus, you know, some more videos coming up for Primal Hunt and maybe some other games. We'll see. I think Tubby's about to release. Doors is about to do an update. Lots and lots of videos planned this month, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. All right, so let's talk about what happened. Okay, so the developers had started, they launched this game with numbered cards. We had like, you know, number 1s all the way through up to like 500. So you could make 500 cards before. As you sell your card, you get fame. And as other people sell your card, you get fame again. So as long as people are buying and selling your card, there's fame involved. And we call the numbered cards serial cards. Serial, I could say it. So basically what's happened here is after they made infinite cards, which had no limit, it started increasing this whole like collection value. So like this remaining scripts guy just kind of bought a bunch of cheap Samson cards. No offense to remaining scripts, but he kind of spent maybe about the same amount of money I spent to get, I was up to about 200 million at the time, and he was able to buy 1.6 billion. Now, if that wouldn't anger you, I don't know what would, dude. Like, think about it. This guy here spent about the same amount of money I did and got 1.6 billion value. I spent 400,000 before infinite cards, mind you, before infinite cards on numbered cards. This is before infinite cards. So infinite cards came around and people were able to just buy a bunch of Samson cards for 50 Robux to 100 Robux. I had to spend 5,000 Robux for a Samson card before infinite cards. You can kind of see what I'm saying, right? Hopefully you can figure that out. What happened, though, is after they added infinite cards, these numbered cards, you couldn't sell them anymore. So I ended up selling a bunch of my really high numbered cards for very cheap. But I do have a couple of these Blaze Imperiums here. Also, I bought these Konamis for a lot. I think these were like between 3,000 to 5,000 each. I think I bought one of them for 6,000, but I sold a bunch of them. I sold a bunch of Blaze Imperium. So I dropped from 200 million collection value to 150 million. I was trying to salvage what I could of what I lost in Robux from their infinite update. I've never been mad at the devs for this update. I just thought it was a really dumb update. They could have done a lot of different things. I'm going to talk about some of the things they should do. And if they don't do it, I might start questioning it. I might start questioning their intelligence. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, devs. But yeah, so I left the game. I kind of quit it because I was getting really negative. If I'm starting to get negative about games, I just quit them. I don't like ruin relationships and friendships because I think the devs are awesome. I like the devs a lot, and I'd rather just kind of move on than say bad stuff about their game and offend them. The main issue that players started experiencing from this update is no one really wanted to spend more than 100 Robux on cards. It looks like it's starting to pick back up now that they removed things, but for a long time, people weren't buying anything for more than, I would say, like 20 to 50 Robux. It was very rare to see like these 100 Robux purchases, and you can see that's on a numbered card. But look at all these infinite cards still being bought and sold because they don't want to spend the money on the big cards. Well, when people don't want to spend money on big cards, knowing that there are infinite cards that are cheaper out there, why would they ever spend, you know, anything near what you spent on the card that you bought? For example, and I own 0 infinite cards, by the way. I never bought any. I refused to buy them. But say, I'll use Gunslaya as an example. She did sell a bunch of infinite cards. I bought her cards for 2,000 Robux each. Now, if you can go and buy an infinite card from Gunslayer, say Gunslayer sold it for like 250 Robux. Why would you buy my card that I have to sell for 4,000 Robux to make a profit than buy a card for 250 or 500 Robux? So you can see my dilemma here is, how am I supposed to sell any cards, or anyone else able to sell cards that are numbered, if infinite cards are substantially cheaper. You can see what happened to everyone that invested in this game early. Now, there's a whole new wave of players who are now experiencing what we experienced, but not to the degree that we experienced, because they obviously started, you know, with infinite cards. They maybe spent 50 Robux to 100 Robux. They could easily make profit still. We couldn't. We started at the top, and we started at when things were, you know, costing 250 to 1,000 Robux. They're all jumping in, you know, at 50 to 100 Robux and making a profit. So it's kind of funny, like how messed up this is. It's a huge mess. That's kind of why I just went silent on this game. I was just so fed up. I was so mad. And you can see this sign's been up here since I quit. Sorry, never making infinite cards or infinity cards only numbered. As a result, I went up like, I think over 100,000 fame. Look at my fame is 650,000. My fame is still ranked number 37, but I didn't make a single infinite card because people couldn't find my card. They knew my cards were worth something because I never made essentially what are considered duped cards. Like infinite cards, it's like dropping a duped economy on a booming economy, if that makes sense. We've experienced that way too often in Islands and other games like Pet MX. One thing the devs did add is a serial collection value leaderboard, but in talking with my community, it's kind of a joke, to be honest. Like, people don't care when they see someone with 1.6 billion right here and they look at the guy with only 400 million. Which number looks cooler? Obviously the one that's bigger, right? So this leaderboard is going to trump this one, unfortunately, and this one's just kind of like, oh, these are the people that have nice cards. These are the people that actually have a combination of both or something. I don't know. I mean, that's essentially what that means, right? Now, what's even worse is all these infinite cards inflated people's fame. So what happened is Samson dropped a bunch of cheap cards. Now, before this infinite card dropped, Samson here only had 2 million fame. When I was buying him, he was only 2 million. So I focused a lot on Blaze. Blaze was at 4.9 million. And so I spent like 10K on a ton of Blaze cards. This is before the whole crash. Again, I spent a lot of money. I'm telling you, I'm not joking. I spent a lot of money on this game. It's my fault. Like I'm so embarrassed that I did too. I'm ashamed. I took an L. It's my fault. It's no one else's fault but mine for trusting this game. Right here, you can see Samson had about 2 million before all this went down. Then he started selling his cards, what I was told, for 50 to 100 Robux. Now, I know that's definitely the case because the people that told me were, you know, credible. Just for argument's sake, say if he was selling for 500. Each time he would sell his card for cheap, he would get fame from it. And then someone would resell it and he would get fame from that because they were making crazy amount of Robux because people saw how much Samson's cards were going for before that. A Samson card going for 5,000 Robux before, and then you see one going for 1,000. You're like, dude, of course. And so people are making profit off his card, and he just kept selling them. So he's artificially gaining fame out of that. And it's brilliant. Like, no offense. I mean, Samson made bank. It's an infinite money glitch. He made bank. Did he deserve 5 million fame? I don't think so. I think Blaze kind of got messed over here. He didn't make as many infinite cards. In my opinion, he deserves number 2. He was already close to 5 million. Samson artificially climbed from infinite cards. A bunch of these players also climbed thanks to the infinite cards. But whatever, like, you know, I'm still 37 without any infinite cards. That's kind of crazy to me. I don't know what to say about that. It's kind of crazy. Now we have this whole like leaderboard that's artificially kind of set up because of fake fame. In my opinion, it's fake because they're infinite cards. It's like a duped economy. It just ruined everything. I don't know, man. I'm kind of frustrated still. The other thing I want to say is the reason why I never made infinite cards. People are, you know, like, DB, I wanted your card. I couldn't afford it, but, you know, infinite cards would have made it so I could have bought your card for 50 to 100. Well, the thing is when I sell my card, you know, usually I set it for like 2,000, right? When I was playing this game, that is. People then would have to sell it for 3,500 to make any kind of, you know, profit off of that because the game keeps 10%, Roblox keeps 30%. You can't really do much about that if the game is keeping so much of the Robux, you know? So if I were to sell infinite cards, everyone that believed in me, trusted in me, and invested in my card would have been messed over. They wouldn't have been able to sell my card. Let's just say that. They would have lost all their Robux and not been able to sell my card. And I don't treat people like that. I don't consider people as just like disposable like that, like usable, like sponges. I'd rather them make a profit off anything that they spend on with me. You know what I mean? So I don't want to like mess people over and milk them for money, so to speak. And I'm not saying other people did, but I don't think they were really thinking about the fact that they were doing that. All these people that made infinite cards, I don't think they were thinking that way. I don't think, especially a couple of my friends who are doing it or were doing it, I just don't think they realized what was happening to people like us who invested in them. For example, I've got a lot of cards in here I'm not naming any names, dude. I'm not naming any names, but I have a lot of people, you know, I'm scrolling through. I have a lot of people in here that I invested in that made it so that after that, I couldn't even make a profit. You know, I couldn't sell their card again. Not a big deal because obviously I get Robux. You know, I make Robux. No big deal, right? But still kind of messed up. So yeah, this game kind of just changed things in a way that kind of messed me over financially on Robux. Not a big deal. Like I said, I make my own decisions. I'm a grown man. I'll take my L's, you know? I'll take my L's. What can the game do, though? And now that you'd understand what happened, why I quit the game, why a lot of other players quit the game, especially those who spent a lot of Robux trying to flip cards, I will tell you what the game devs can do. There's 4 things, okay? First thing they need to do, make numbered cards look really freaking cool, dude. So, like, this card right here should have, like, effects coming out of it, or at least like a really cool shimmer. Maybe make them look a little bit bigger, something better. Like even if they have like a golden kind of hologram on it. So like these cards should all look amazing. So like this card right here, it could have like a flicker and a sheen, or it could animate, or like it could even have different poses. Do anything, man. Some kind of animation. Ideally just add the particle effects, maybe like add like a little lightning effect, or make it so you can only add skins and sleeves to non-infinites. Maybe infinites just can't have cool sleeves and skins. Just something. Basically make these numbered cards look better. If they don't do that, no big deal. What they do need to do in this case is change the infinite cards to something else. For example, my shoulder buddy. Imagine if I could sell my shoulder buddy not just cards, but a shoulder buddy. I mean, the game's called Please Buy Me. If they're buying my shoulder buddy version of my avatar here, I don't mind. I could sell that all day. I could sell infinite shoulder buddies all day long. I would have no problem selling infinite shoulder buddies because they were never limited to begin with. But because cards, you know, started as limited, they should have always been limited. The other thing that I think they need to do is make it so infinite cards do not give you fame. They should have never given you fame. I don't really know why they give you fame, but they should never have given you fame because they were so inflated. They don't really show true fame. You know, if you want to sell stuff though, if you want to just sell stuff in an infinite manner, that's fine too, and you make it tradable, but you can't use the whole fame system based on that. And that's just my humble opinion. That's just my humble opinion, okay? I mean, I guess if they make it so that they bring the infinite back with the pets, it could work. I would be probably fine with that if they added fame, but I feel like the fame system worked better with the limited cards. Maybe a little bit of bias. That's a little bit of bias, okay? And then lastly, they need to add something that I've been asking for since I started playing the game, I think, over a month ago, and that's for a donation system. Currently, you have a limit on the number of cards you can have in your collection. I have 277 out of 300 still, so how am I supposed to deal with that? Well, in order to be able to add more cards, I have to move cards or sell cards. It's kind of broken, so we need a way to be able to donate to players that don't have Robux. And so how do I both grind for the collection leaderboard and donate to players at the same time? I can't. So my opinion is the devs should really prioritize this whole like tip system. Beyond that, I hope they add a pet system. The devs did tell me a few things. They're really, really great people, by the way. They did tell me some stuff. I'm not going to leak what they said, but they are definitely listening to feedback. They're looking at the economy. They're concerned about the economy. They have some ideas. I feel like this idea would be better is just to convert all the infinite cards that because they disabled that, obviously. If they were to convert all infinite cards over to a shoulder buddy or shoulder pet, I'd buy those all day long. But yeah, maybe if they fix some of these things, maybe if infinite cards can get converted to, you know, like buddies or avatars. Let me know what you think of that in the comments below. Would you buy like a mini Russo or a mini like Ripindra, mini Build Into Games, or, you know, Hazem? Dude, I'd buy those all day long. In fact, I would collect all of these cards that I have. All of these people, I would collect a miniature version of them, whether it's infinite or not. In fact, I'd much prefer an infinite. I think I would just buy, like, I want to see this avatar in physical form in the game. It would be so cute. Like, imagine these guys floating after you and you can equip multiples. It'd be super cool. Now, whether or not I'm going to continue playing the game is kind of still up in the air. I want to play this game, but after losing so much Robux, like, I got to sell these at some point. You know, like, how do I get rid of these cards? So I don't really know. And let me know in the comments below what you think they should do. Do you like this update? Did you like the infinite cards? Do you think they should make the shoulder buddies? Let me know. Until next time. Happy grinding. Peace.